All right, this is 2-5. Draw a picture and write an equation. Go ahead and label that on the top of your clean spiral notebook paper. So in most of today's problems, it's a word problem, but you are showing it in a picture and then you are writing an equation. So I will show you how that works right now. So I would like you to write this in your spiral. Emma had some balloons and then gave 35 of them away. She now has 21 left. How many balloons did Emma have to begin with? Well, we know that we would solve this problem by adding these two numbers, correct? But today it says draw a picture and write an equation. So first we need to draw a picture and then we need to write an equation. So I am going to show you how that is done and how that will look in 5th grade and beyond. So you will, when we are working with a problem that the total is unknown, because 35 of them were given away and 21 are left, we can draw it out like this. So we don't know the total of how many Emma had to start with, right? And the total always goes on top. Please be drawing this in your spiral so you'll understand later on. Then down here, we're going to write the numbers that we are working with. So we know that Emma gave 35 away and she has 21. But up here, I'm going to let this be X because it's unknown. We don't know how many she had to begin with. So first we draw our picture. That's showing me that you can draw a picture from a word problem. And then we need to write an equation. So the equation would be, we do not know what she started with. That's what we're trying to figure out. So X just represents we don't know. We don't know that number. But we know that she gave 35 of the balloons away, and now she has 21. So you can think we don't know what she started with, but we know she had to take 35 away because she gave them away, and it always is going to equal what she has now. All right? So this is some algebra for you. So to solve this, we need to, just like we said earlier, well, we need to figure out how many she started with, which we would be adding these two numbers. So we can add 35 plus 21, and we would get 56. Now, in order to check our work, we could always put 56 in the X's spot to see if it works. So if we put the 56 and replaced it where the X is, so we said 56 minus 35 equals 21. Well, is that true? I don't know. So we would write it to the side, 56 minus 35. 6 minus 5 is 1. 5 minus 3 is 2. They match. So we know 56 balloons to begin with would be the correct answer. Another way you could solve this problem or write a different type of equation would be, you're saying the total is still unknown. The picture would stay the same because 35 were given away. She has 21 left. So we know that has to equal the whole, right? But we could write exactly what you did in the last problem, or in the same problem, but in the last equation. We could write, for our equation, we could write 35 plus 21 equals X, because it would be the exact same thing. You're saying that these 35 balloons that were given away that she started with and the 21 that she still has, when we add those up, it's going to equal the whole. So 35 plus 21 would be 56. So when you write both answers, no matter what, you tell me that X equals 56 balloons. Make sure you do not forget that label. But you're saying X equals 56 because remember, if I plug in the 56 to the X, they're the same thing. So I would like you to put this in your spiral. This is a little chart, and I am going to tell you the problem instead of having you write it. So in this chart, 3 friends have a music collection. How many more CDs does Susan have than Larry? So I will write that. So I do want you to write that part. How many more CDs does Susan have than Larry? That is what we are trying to figure out. So I got to think, what do I know? All right, do we need to care about Chad? We don't even care about Chad right now. Sorry, Chad. All right, so what we know is Susan has 42 CDs and Larry has 26 CDs. So what are you asked to find? You're asked to find the difference between the number of CDs from these two people's collections, all right? So if we need to draw a picture. So our picture is going to be here. We are not working with a drawing like we did before where the X was up here. We're not working with something like that because we are not trying to find the total in all. We're trying to find out how many more. So when you are finding out how many more, your picture looks a little bit different. So draw along with me. First I have Susan, all right, and she has 42 CDs, all right? So I'm going to represent 42 right here. But our question is, how many more CDs does she have than Larry? Well, poor Larry, he has only, a better label, Larry only has 26. What a poor guy. All right, so we need to figure out what is missing over here. How many more does Susan have than Larry? So when you're asked to find out how many more, you don't have the X at the top. The X, the unknown, is in one of the boxes. All right, so now we need to write an equation for this problem. And we are going to say that Susan has 42 CDs and Larry has only 26. So we need to see what the difference is, because when we are asked how many more, that is also telling us we're going to subtract. So let's do 42 minus 26. We have to regroup, make this a 12 and this a 3. 12 minus 6 is 6, 3 minus 2 is 1. So we would say X equals 16 what? More CDs. Or we could write Susan has 16 more CDs in her collection than Larry. Poor Larry. You will only have 2 quiz questions, but please, please, please come to me if you have problems on the practice work, or if you just are totally not understanding how I'm drawing these things and how I'm writing an equation. We will practice some in class tomorrow, though. So go ahead and write this in your spiral, even though it's a quiz question, so you can see it later, and you can ask me tomorrow if you have any troubles. So there will be 2 quiz questions with this picture and this word problem. Rose needs 22 tacos for a party. She has made 12 tacos so far. How many more tacos does Rose need to make? So your first quiz question will be, do we know the total? What number goes up here? So go ahead and fill that out. What number is the total? Or do we even know? All right, well, you should have answered 22 tacos, because we know that she needs to make 22 tacos and she's already made 12. So what goes in this box right here? What goes in this box right here? An X, unknown. We don't know, okay? So this is what your picture should look like so far. Now, I want you to pick the correct equation on the quiz question, the correct equation that goes along with this picture, all right? So go ahead and do that now. So the correct equation should have looked like 22 minus 12 equals X, because we know she has to make 22 in all. She's already made 12, so how many does she have left to go? Well, 22 minus 12 would be 10, so X equals 10. Or you could write 10 equals X. All right, that is the only questions I have for you today. Come to me with any questions you have tomorrow. I will see you soon. Bye.